the wonderful, generous, quite frankly, dashing Dale who is one of my dear friends of the Tinterwebs, viewer of my Twitch stuff, a supporter of pretty much any project I ever put my hand to, and I'm always very grateful for it. Gifted me something from my wish list. In fact, a couple of things that I wanted to review because I cover toys occasionally. Also came with a couple of little notes which I thought was quite sweet. The first one said, when people need help, I never refuse. Familiar quote to some who may be watching this review. And it's the Kablam Man. This is the 13th Doctor's TARDIS. This is the first new series TARDIS I've gotten my hands on since the Christmas Carol TARDIS in 2010, in late 2010. The set with the 11th Doctor and Amy. So I'm really excited about this. The 13th Doctor's TARDIS. And the final figure outside of the... bloody hell, she's jumping. The final figure outside of the blue Chase variant, who I've not actually seen anywhere. But the final figure in the Series 12 themed wave that I did not have, the new version of the 13th Doctor. Before we begin, Clamshell Packaging. Well, not clamshell. Big window. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm just excited to see. Display on the back, of course, with this TARDIS and this Doctor. Chase variant. The Chase host, Bradley Walsh, with the Graham, which we've got. Jadoon Captain, which we've got. Reconnaissance Dalek, which we've got. And the Sonic Screwdriver, which we already had. Lovely window. Gorgeous display. I like this design. And as for the TARDIS, a big old TARDIS on the side. Big old history of the TARDIS on the back. Which, if you want to read it, pause. Is it in focus? Can't quite tell. Are you in focus, love? Probably. You'll find an image of it on the back if you want to, or the internet if you want to read the back. But there's a lot of it. And I only noticed this yesterday after having already opened it. The interior is a little bit reflected there, but it's the hillside from the end of the Ghost Monument. Which is, of course, the first time we see this TARDIS in the Chris Chibnall, Jodie Whittaker era. I thought it was quite a sweet idea. So, I'm going to get these guys open, and we'll take a little look at them. I'm very excited. So first off, a couple little notes on the TARDIS before I do a full deep dive. The display is indeed based on the Ghost Monument, right down to a reflection in water. There's a reflection in water. If you can make a display out of that, I recommend it. I won't be for the sake of space, but that is a nice little detail. I have very briefly put some batteries into the TARDIS. I tend to display mine without the batteries in, the light and sound effect TARDISes, just because I don't use the light and sound effects enough, but I wanted to check out and see what this one has. It seems like it is a bit of a mix of the old school, the classic series TARDIS toys, with a dash of the modern series TARDIS toys. What do I mean by that? Well, we have the ever-glowing lantern of the modern series ones, which is a very nice touch. Just gently pulsates a blue light there up the top. And like the modern series ones, that's kind of where the similarities end. It's mostly based on the classic series TARDIS toys, in that it has light and sound effects when you lift it. Doesn't have the little spinner that the modern TARDISes have, so you can't spin it on your finger, but obviously, you know, if you're playing with it, you can whee, do it like that. So takeoff noise is lovely. And then we have... I wonder if this video will get copyright struck for the sound effect. And then we have the landing noise, the rematerialization sound. Lovely. One other thing it does that the classic TARDISes have and not the modern TARDISes is it doesn't have an interior noise when you open up the doors. Traditionally, the newer series ones have like a humming noise of the TARDIS console room, but the classic ones don't. Another thing it shares with the classic TARDISes is No backdrop at all in the back, which isn't too distracting for the 13th Doctor's TARDIS, because obviously it has, in the interior of the TARDIS has the right and left walls built in. So if you're displaying it that way, for example, then that isn't irregular. It makes sense that you would just see that there. I might though print off something to put at the back, because like that's all it would take. Is there a lip? No, so I could probably construct something out of card, like a facade that looks like the interior of Jodie's TARDIS. Make it a little darker so it's got some distance to it, and put it at the back. But the trick, of course, there is that you kind of take away some of the natural lighting from the windows. But because there is no interior lighting, it's not really going to bother too much here, is it? It just means that these windows are going to be a little darker. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to customize it a little bit, I think, after this video. The door does not open. The little phone booth does not open because there's no phone in it. But as far as like the exterior goes, the paint job is gorgeous. It is bob on the right colour. It almost looks a little sun damaged on the top, which I like, because it's like, yeah, it's been out and about. This thing travels the universe. Of course, it's going to get a bit of damage. I've been told that the shape isn't accurate, but I'll be honest. Like first glance, I don't mind, because it's just very pretty. It's a pretty TARDIS, and it's a modern TARDIS that goes with the current series. For that, I'm incredibly grateful. And looky who we have here. It's the Doctor herself. This is a new figure using pretty much the exact same mould, stay still Jodie, as the first release. But as you can see, the colour palette on the skin and the hair has been tweaked to be a lot more accurate, because Jodie does have sort of like a darker blonde hair. The head is still on that lovely socket-like joint, which is great for posability. Articulation is pretty much exactly the same in the elbows, at the upper arm swivel, shoulder rotation. Shame that it's not a swivel, so she can be a bit more dynamic, like the 12th and 11th, later 11th Doctor figures. Wrists move. Waist is very stiff. Crotch, knees, no swivel at the old ankles. Addition of a bum bag, which is a separate piece, but I'm not quite sure. Doctor, I'm not quite sure how it's attached. Let's have a little look. It seems to be just sort of wrapped around in position, so possibly removable for those who really want a 13th Doctor with the pink t-shirt without the bum bag, but I ain't taking that risk. I'm not sure what happened to my voice there. Bum bag? I ain't taking that risk. Paint is wonderful overall. Only one sort of big cock up on this one. If you look closely at her right eye, if it'll focus, let's get it in there. There's a big paint bleed on her right eye, so her iris is just sort of slunk down out of it. But unless you're going mega close on the character for some reason, it doesn't really matter. Like, as a display piece, no issue. She, of course, comes with her trusty and please buy one kids merchandise-friendly sonic screwdriver, which I can't tell if it's any different from the previous one, because the colour scheme seems to be the original vibrant yellow, but I can't remember if the handle had markings on it, because this one you have to ram the goddamn sonic screwdriver into her hand for it to stay there. I have a feeling that's going to be the same with this Doctor. She's a welcome addition to the fam. And look at that, ladies and gentlemen, the complete TARDIS team! Oh, I'm so chuffed. And the best part is, because I have the original Doctor release and the new Doctor release, I can pick and choose who to display on the shelf on their own, who to put with the fam, who to put with the TARDIS. This is awesome. Dale, I cannot... Oh, well, Mandip's running away. I cannot thank you enough for helping me expand my my little Whovian team. I now have the fam. I have a TARDIS to go with them. My dude, thank you so much. Guys, please show love to Dale in the comments and let me know, do you have this set? Are there any more questions you have about it? Let me know in the comments below. I'll try to answer them as best as I can. And if you ever want to buy me a specific toy because you want to see my take on it, my review on it, and you can spare the cash to do that, then let me know what it is. I'll add it to my wish list, which is linked in the description, and you can purchase the toy for me, and I'll happily review it and give you a shout out. If you don't want to do that, that's totally fine. I review stuff that I buy for myself. But if you ever want to buy something off the wish list, just know that I'll be very grateful, and you'll absolutely get a shout out. Thank you, Dale. If you don't mind, I am going to have to go now, though, because these guys obviously have to now fight a squiggly mutant creature, so it'd be unfair if we were to give them some privacy. Right. Tatty, bye!
My dears!